Hi, and welcome to the first module of the Make Money Writing course. I'm still getting adjusted to the microphones, to the camera that I'm using. So if it looks like I'm staring off into outer space or not looking at you at all, I really apologize. We'll get this down as we go through the course. I'm really excited to welcome you to the beta version of this course. This is the first time we've gone through it, and we're going to work through it and make sure that it's meeting the needs of the students and meeting the needs of what you hope to accomplish through the course. So, don't feel nervous at all about sharing your opinion or giving me feedback and information, because I want to make sure that this is the best value for and that it's doing what I have promised you that the course is supposed to do, right? Because that sucks when you pay some money and don't get what you wanted out of the course. So there's two ways to kind of go about participating. One, you can do it all self-paced. It's going to be a little more challenging for you in the beta run unless you're not planning on getting involved until later on. Um, because we are only releasing courses as the week occurs. So, like, if you were to join in the second round, once you joined and it was launched, you'd get access to everything all at once. But this time, I'm rolling it out 1 week at a time. And the reason is because I really wanted it to be an interactive process. I really want as much as possible for people to stay with us each week and to go through the course and and be able to ask questions and take the action steps and really benefit from what we're trying to teach each week. Okay, but if you can't do that, I understand. I'm a mom. I'm running like four businesses, seriously, and I get that some weeks you're not going to be able to sit down and watch a 45-minute video and do a little homework exercise and all that kind of stuff. Now, don't be afraid of homework. Okay, we'll talk about that more in a minute. Okay, so welcome to Make Money Writing. My name is Alexa Bigwharf. I know that you may have seen my intro video and heard me talk about the course and know a bit about what's happening, but just in case, let's review. And for anyone who might have missed that information, I've wanted to be a writer since I was a small child. I've always loved reading, I've always loved writing. I wrote my first book and self edited when I was about 6, called My Unicorn. I really wish I could find it because I think it's a precious example. But it's kind of funny. Like, we're going to be talking a lot about mindset in this course because writers seem to be some of the worst when it comes to self doubt. And even though I wanted to be a writer, I loved books more than anything in the world. Like, for some reason, I never pursued that as a career. And part of it was I was interested in a lot of other things. I went into international studies and I wanted to work for the UN. I wanted to save the world, right? I wanted to do all these exciting things. As it turned out, I went into the Air Force and I was an intelligence officer, and I became basically a technical writer. My job focused around writing so much stuff: daily briefings, daily intel summaries, weekly reports, training courses, you name it. I was writing and presenting all the time and providing analysis and all that stuff. I left the Air Force and went into Homeland Security, and again, my job was focused a ton around writing. I wrote reports. I wrote grant applications. I wrote training products. I wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. I wrote the entire state counterterrorism strategy. So I got my dream basically of being a professional writer, even though that's not what anyone would have called me, right? Because I was an analyst. But anyway, I left the full time workforce in 2010. Yes, 2000. No, 2011. I had a little boy who turned 4 shortly after I stopped working. A little girl who was about 15 months at the time, and shortly after I stopped working, I found out I was pregnant, not only with a third child, but with our third and fourth child. We were expecting identical twin girls, which was a shock. And the reason that I tell you this is because it's very relevant to my writing journey. Uh, Long story short, you can read all about it on my blog if you're really interested in the details. But they developed a syndrome called twin to twin transfusion syndrome, and were very ill. Um, when I was 20 weeks pregnant, we thought we were going to lose both babies. I wound up hospitalized 3 times, the last time for 5 weeks, delivered the babies 10 weeks early, and one of them passed away after 2 days, and the other one spent 12 weeks in the NICU. Um, I needed I needed I needed something to help me survive, so I started blogging. I was really passionate about finding people who needed to hear my story. I wanted to tell the world about twin to twin transfusion syndrome. I wanted to tell the world about grief. I wanted to help people um, help be able to help mothers who were grieving, because it seems to be something that our society has a large problem with. So I wound up writing my first viral post, which is, I can't remember the exact title of the post, but it's something along the lines of the magic words after someone loses a baby. And that post continues to just bring traffic, bring traffic. Um, and I wrote that post almost a year and a half after I'd written some kind of similar post, but when my daughter, my survivor, was 18 months old, another friend had a stillborn baby, and so many people were coming to me asking, "What can I do? What can I do?" So I wrote the post so that they would know, and also at that time, I decided I wanted to write my first book. And it wound up being a compilation of stories from mothers, because I didn't want it to be just from my perspective. I wanted it to come from all kinds of perspectives. So I I collected stories from 30 moms and dads, over 30 moms and dads, and we put it into an anthology, basically, called Sunshine After the Storm: A Survival Guide for the Grieving Mother. And that one has done very well, although I don't sell it for profit. I sell it to reinvest the money into the nonprofit that we've created for grieving parents, and we donate copies of that book in care packages and to hospitals. Anyway, I say all of that to say that's what launched my writing career. And since then, I have become absolutely fascinated and just love the process of blogging, of writing, of publishing books, of putting together anthologies, all kinds of stuff. I've done co-authored a book, done several anthologies, have another somewhat, it's kind of a cross between a an anthology and just like a book of interviews of people, kind of, that's coming out about twin to twin transfusion syndrome. And along the way, like, the writing bug just completely hit me. And I'm sorry, I know this is a long story, but it is very relevant to our course topic, because what I want to show you throughout this course is that there are many streams of income for writers. Um, and you might be a straight up freelance writer, and we'll talk to you as well. But I want you to see by the end of this course that there are lots of ways that you can be a freelance writer and do other things to supplement your income, because you may notice as a freelance writer that you're completely dependent on the paying schedule of the people who buy your product. So I know that with the regional parenting publications market, there have been times where I've waited 6 or 8 months before I've received payment for an article. So that's not really good if you're trying to pay your bills. And that's not always the case, so don't worry about that either. We will talk all about regional parenting publications in another module. Um, so anyway, I digress. But the writing bug just completely bit me once I got into this, and I started writing about everything I could possibly write about. Of course, I found my niche in women's health, infant, maternal, and children's health topic, and advocacy, and that's really where my heart is, and that's where I love to put my focus. And most of the articles that I write for parenting publications are related to health and safety and well-being. So I challenge you this week, if you are writing already. Some of you may be brand new to blogging or brand new to the idea of freelance writing. But if you are writing already, what is your niche? What is, or niche, as some people say, what is the area that you are most passionate about writing? And if someone comes to your site, is that obvious to them? Speaking mostly about your blog site here. So, one thing about this course is that different topics are going to overlap a little bit. And I will try to keep things as separate as possible, but you'll notice, and it's largely because this is my method of operation, that I don't consider myself just a freelancer, just an author, just a blogger, just an instructor. I consider myself like a writer entrepreneur. And what that means is that I take advantage of, or I implement, take advantage is a nasty word, right? I implement as many strategies as possible to supplement and bring in income. And passive income is a wonderful thing, my friends. Not having to do the work but one time and then putting something out there that just continues to generate income for you is a fabulous thing. And that's what has happened with several of my books. Every month I can, excuse me, I'm sorry, every month I can pretty much be guaranteed that I'm going to receive a certain amount of income deposited from book sales. So that's a nice thing um, to just know. Okay, so what are we doing this week? I wanted to I thought it was really important that you know me and my background because whenever you're taking a course with somebody, it's important to know that I have actually walked the walk and done these steps. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna try and tell you that I'm making a six-figure income yet from my writing. I am not, but I don't think it'll be that long before I get there. It's things are moving in the right direction. And most importantly, I want to try and help you from making the mistakes that I have made along the way because I've made some pretty costly mistakes and I don't want to see other people go down those. So, throughout the course, we're going to be talking about a wide variety of topics. And the reason that I have it set up this way is because, like I just mentioned, that I believe the writers who make I don't just believe this. I know this. If you look at somebody like Darren Rouse from ProBlogger, Joanna Penn from the Creative Penn, if you look at people who are truly creative entrepreneurs, creative, making a good income off of writing, blogging, and all those things, they are taking it from multiple streams of income. So, we'll be talking about what it means to be a writer entrepreneur. We'll be talking about the multiple streams of income to include things like regional parenting publications, national publications, affiliate marketing, affiliate promotions, blogging and sponsored content, books and ebooks, and all those different kinds of things that come in that you can make money with your writing. Even things like virtual assistant, virtual admin positions that are copywriter jobs or transcription and blog post writing, all kinds of things. I hope to educate you and to bring a wide variety of tools to you. Okay? But that's not all that comes along with it. There's a lot that comes along with being a writer entrepreneur, and that is the fact that you are running a business. I would say that the biggest part of my struggle over the past few years has been the business aspect because I'm not trained in business. I don't know about business accounting. I don't know these things, and I've had to learn them along the way. And again, made some pretty costly mistakes. So, we'll be talking about accounting, we'll be talking about taxes, we'll be talking about laws around writing, and not spending a whole lot of time on those things, but at least providing you an overview and the knowledge on them, and then resources to where you can go find more information. We'll be talking about productivity tips and how to keep your life balanced because writers and creatives in general, I don't know if it's this way for everybody, but for almost everybody that I've talked to, like it's hard to turn off. And it's hard. I could work around the clock all the time if I was given the opportunity. I mean, it's hard to shut it down. So talking about balance and making sure that your priorities in place and that your life and your family and children aren't suffering because of the fact that you have this passion to write and grow your business. We'll be talking about the importance of the email list and growing that. We'll be talking about social media strategy. And through all of these topics that I'm not the expert in, I'm bringing in experts that I'm interviewing, and they're providing great information to all of us so that we can get down and dirty. Okay, so this week I mentioned homework. And it's your homework is never going to be so overwhelming that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm in this class. It's like taking a college course, whatever. What the goal of the homework is is simply to provide you action steps so that you're actually taking the information that we provide and either implementing a system or taking some kind of step that's going to help you benefit from whatever we've just taught you. So, being that this is the introduction week, I really want to know more about you. So, you'll see a type kit form in the notes below. And what I want you to do is to fill out this form so that I can make sure that you're getting what you need out of the course. Because the great thing about this course is, yes, a lot of the interviews are pre recorded and we have a ton of information out there, but we can adjust week by week to what makes most sense for our students. So if we need to talk more about freelance writing than blogging, we can do that. So I want to know what your goals and interests are. I'm going to ask you some questions. Please work through those. Also, in the notes below, you're going to see several resources and sites and tools that I think you should be using to have the most success as a freelance writer. You don't necessarily have to sign up for all of these things. Some of them are affiliate links. I will tell you that because, hey, it's all about the passive income, right? And affiliate marketing and affiliate sales are something we're going to talk a lot about because it's a great way uh, to be able to earn some extra income without having to do much, right? I will never recommend something that I don't either personally use or have heard wonderful things about. Um, in fact, I don't think I recommend anything at all that I haven't, as in terms of tools that I have not tried myself. Um, so, I'm going to provide you some things to read through and to look over to best prepare you for success in this course. And the way it will work each week is that normally on Monday, you'll get the first course released to you, the video presentation, and it'll either be me and a guest or just me, or some other type of video that I've put together for you to watch. And you'll have that, and then you'll have some extra resources to read and to look into. You'll have some type of action steps, and then at the end of the week on Fridays in our Facebook group, we will do a live Q&A. And based on the report that you give back to me when you fill out the information sheet below, that's kind of the time that we'll pick based on what works the best in everybody's schedule, so that we can do an hour live Q&A for about any questions that you may have about what we've covered. Okay, so that being said, I know I've been chit-chatting for quite a while here. I just want to make sure that you had a good introduction, and please feel free at any time to ask questions in the Facebook group. If you haven't joined, the link is below. At any time you can ask, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. Whew, that was a lot of talking, y'all. Okay, so let's get busy, make money writing, all right? I'll see you in the Facebook group.